Welcome in. We're going to be getting started, as you can see, in 4 minutes and 52 seconds. If you can hear me loud and clear, go ahead and type into the chat space and let me know what city and state that you're chiming in from. And for those of you guys in the chat, I'm going to go over here and type in the chat. Refresh the screen so you can see the video. And so definitely everybody, again, welcome. We're so excited to have you guys here. Make sure if you can hear us, go ahead and type into the chat space and let us know by putting in the city and state that you are chiming in from. Welcome everybody. Again, welcome. All right. Again, everybody, welcome. My name is actually Taria Avant, and I am going to be the MC for today. And I am so grateful to be here on the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made conference. This virtual conference is going to be exciting. If you guys can hear me, go ahead and type into the chat space. You may need to refresh the screen to start the video. So I'm just typing that in the chat. You'll see mine says Calm Settler. Now, you can also change your information to your first and last name by clicking on the little spin wheel, and that will allow you to change your name so that we can see what your name is in the chat. So refresh the screen. If you guys can hear me and you are watching as well, let everybody know to refresh the screen and turn up the volume. So again, everybody, we have about 2 minutes and 57 seconds. If you're watching on social media and you want to join in on some of the amazing giveaways that we're doing, we have two raffles that we're offering today, but you need to go ahead and register and join in on the conference. So if you want to join in on the conference and be a part of the raffle, go ahead and register for the conference so that you can be a part of what we're doing here. So go ahead and register now if you're watching on social media. Again, everybody, if you are watching, go ahead and refresh the screen and let us know what city and state that you guys are chiming in from. And we are so excited to have you guys here. Alrighty. Again, everybody, welcome. We're going to be getting started very soon. You all should be able to hear. Let us know in the chat space where you're chiming in from, what city and state that you guys are chiming in from. We have 1 minute and 50 seconds left as we get ready to get started with the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made conference. So grateful, so excited to be here, guys. This is going to be awesome. So please make sure that you go ahead and put your city and state in the chat. Again, everybody, welcome. If you can hear us live, go ahead and refresh that screen or tell somebody to refresh the screen and type into the chat space what city and state. You can also change and update your name. If you click on the spin wheel, that will allow you to actually change your name. There's a little spin wheel on the chat. It's like a little circle. You can click on that and you click on change nickname so that we can actually see your first and last name. Guys, we have 53 seconds left and we're about to get started. Welcome everybody to the live Fearfully and Wonderfully Made conference. Again, 40 seconds left, and we are going to be getting started here. All right, let's go. Listen, hello everybody. My name is Taria Avant, and I told him I was going to go straight to him, but I felt like we needed to give him a proper introduction. Okay, so I am going to be your MC of the day here, guys. What I'm doing here, guys, I'm here helping to coordinate this amazing conference that Pastor Rechard Larkin is putting on today. This is the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made virtual conference celebrating his book as well. I am so grateful and so excited to be here. But guys, let's talk about some of the great things that Pastor Rechard is doing out here in these streets, okay? So first of all, we all know him to be a pastor changing the world, impacting the world with God connected. Let me tell you something. As a pastor, he has also been able to help other men and women, spiritual leaders, to really gain that confidence to also impact the world with their words. He is an author, he is a speaker, he is a coach, and he is also a husband and a father. I am so grateful to have Pastor Rechard Larkin, who you guys may know nationally, but very soon this brother is going to be known internationally. Without further ado, let's give it up for Pastor Rechard Larkin.
Hey, what's going on, beautiful people? So glad for you to join me tonight. It is the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference, the 2023 Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference. And I'm excited that you made a decision to join us tonight. Um, I have some friends who've made a decision to hang out with me. Pastor Jonathan Butts, the Miss Tiffany Hood, and I'm thankful to them for sharing this moment with me. Listen, one thing that I've discovered is that in life, people oftentimes find challenge in discovering what their purpose is, what they were created to do, and not really understanding that they were truly made in the image and in the likeness of God. And that, in fact, they are, as the word declares, fearfully and wonderfully made. And tonight, we're highlighting the fact that average, ordinary people, just like me, just like you, can use what God has already given us to make an impact in the world and to truly change lives. And I'm excited, as I mentioned, to have with me some of my friends. And I definitely want to take a moment to introduce one young lady who's going to be sharing with us here momentarily. So, and before I bring her on and before I introduce her, could you do me a favor? Could you let could you allow your friends and followers to know that right now you are attending the virtual 2023 Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference? Allow your friends, allow your followers to know, and then also share the registration link, because in order to get the giveaways that we're doing tonight, you have to be registered inside the conference. So that's your neighbors, your aunties, your cousins, and your friends. Bring them on inside because they don't want to miss what's happening tonight. All right. So I'm excited to have with me sharing a young lady who I have come to love as a friend. I see her and watch her peripherally, what she does every day, as we are colleagues in one sense. But I also see her passion for helping people and improving the lives of other people. Um, she has, in fact, become a friend of mine. And I am excited that she's decided to share this moment with me. Can we put our hands together and thank God for the wonderful person and personality of Miss Tiffany Hood? Can we bless God for her as she comes to our front? How you doing, Miss Hood? All right, are you with me? Can you hear me?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Okay, awesome. Doing well, doing well. Um, I know you're
Hello?
prepared to share with them tonight, and but you and I had an opportunity a few moments ago, uh, a few weeks ago, should I say, to really share in kind of a one-on-one type situation. And if you would, I just would like, Tiffany, just for you to share with those who are watching this conference tonight, to understand how important it is as you're walking in your gifting, as you're walking in your calling, as you are accepting the assignment that God has given you, how important it is to be able to walk in uh, that vocation with confidence and with the wisdom and knowledge of knowing that you are very well capable of doing what God has said for you to do. Could you share with the people on this evening kind of the experience that you had, and provide a little more detail about being fearfully and wonderfully made? Take it away.
Okay. Hey everyone, how are you? First, I would like to express how excited I am to be a part of this virtual conference. Initially, I was very nervous. I am still nervous, and I tried to find every excuse why I should not attend. But big thanks to my great life coach, my accountability partner, Mr. Rechard Larkin, I'm here. So, just a little about myself. I am Tiffany Hood, a mental health counselor with Department of Corrections, and women who experience parental neglect during adolescent years due to alcohol and or drug abuse. And my ultimate goal is to help them obtain peace, extend forgiveness and forgiveness, and become better individuals and or parents. And we do this by way of experiencing spiritual transformation. I do this by creating online courses and interactive social media platforms. But as I was developing this desire to help others that has experienced mental trauma, such as myself, from parental neglect from both parents or what have you, one of the things I was able to home into was um, Pastor Larkin and myself had multiple sessions, but in this one session, he made a statement that is so profound now more than when he made the statement at the very first time. And his statement was, people transform when they realize their story matters. Yeah, that means a lot. So that statement has lingered with me since then, because for so many years, I felt like my experience of parental neglect from both parents, going into foster care at the age of 15, was just a story over a Black impoverished community. But as I continue to reflect on the good that came from me being placed in foster care, I knew then that my story really does matter. In the process of just continuing to be that inspiration to others, because without a story, there's no ending. So what I would like to do is just continue to inspire other people, and let them know that there's always sunshine after the rain. And another thing that I can say, that unlike other 15-year-olds, I was paired with an heaven sent mother figure. It was her very first time being a foster mother, my very first time being in foster care. And the value that she instilled into me is still profound to this day. Despite being in foster care, I was able to be the light of many individuals that um, both endured the situation and going through now. And that ranges from my personal family, my extensive family, even to the workplace. As I tell my story to different individuals, I always tell them that every foster care experience is not a bad experience. Some experiences is a portal to different dimensions in life. And to me, I feel like you can have a door and you can have a portal, but a door only gives you limited access to places and things and desires. But a portal, it catapults you to another, excuse me, it catapults you to another level. Um, but just was able to graduate top 5% of my high school class. And that was because my foster mother, she instilled determination, persistence. And her biggest thing was, you do not let anyone tell you what you cannot do. When I first started at the school after coming to foster care, the school counselor pretty much told me that I would never have a GPA of 4.0. And that was because of hiccups at my previous school, so on and so forth. But um, the way my foster mother was, she did not allow me to settle, which is one of those biggest points in my life now, that you have to keep striving. You can't just sit on your hands and expect things to happen for you. And with that being said, I also was afforded the opportunity to attend college at Georgia Southern University, at the expense of the state. I also received my Bachelor of Justice Studies there. But the real big deal about that is, if it wasn't for me going into foster care, I can only imagine the lifestyle that I would have been afforded due to my mother and father lack of financial stability. So as a result, now I'm in the process of obtaining my doctorates, in mental health clinician specializing in trauma informed systematic therapy. And that's going to help the individuals that I target, like I stated before, women that has experienced this mental trauma, allow them to face their traumas, identify coping skills and intervention strategies, and then they'll be able to just maintain life from there. Um, that with that being said, what I can tell you is I am a walking testimony, a woman of integrity, inspiration, and value. And that's all because someone poured into my life during my darkest moment. Um, and that was just a little backstory to why I have a desire to write self help books, to let women know that, once again, there is sunshine after the rain. My first book will be titled This Can't Be Life: 5 Keys to Moving Beyond Your Hurt. I'm not yet published, but that is in the making. But there are ways that you can connect with me for further interactions. You can find me on Facebook. My That's by my first and last name. Instagram, the @ symbol Hood 8889, and I'm currently working on populating other social media platforms, so I can interact more effectively with other individuals. And also, you can email me at my Gmail account, which is Miss MISS Hood 8889. Me at those aforementioned platforms, or just shoot me an email. But one of my foundational scripture zone would be Jeremiah
All right. I don't know if
29:11. And there,
all right, Tiffany. Right now, you're going. You're
God
going in. You're going
said
in
that He
and out.
knows.
Yeah, you're going in and out right now, Tiffany, and it's like every other word. So I'm going to step in here just for a moment to
Share
see what that signal can. can become a
space
better
with
on earth.
such phenomenal people. Thank you, Mr. Rechard Larkin. Thank you for this opportunity.
Okay.
Excuse me. I look forward to many more.
All right, all right. Listen, we're gonna give Tiffany a round of applause. Listen, hey, when I tell you to look at people does not really, give us the fullness of who they are. Let me tell you, every one of you who's watching right now, and I'm asking you to do this for me. Go ahead and let those people who are around you, your neighbors, your friends, your auntie, your cousin, and them, let them know that you are attending the virtual 2023 Fearfully and Wonderfully Made conference. Uh, Tiffany Hood really has blown our mind. Well, she's blown my mind. I can only speak for myself. And to hear her share her story, and it's one thing, particularly for me as an educator, having been an educator in the public school system for nearly 15 years prior to my current role as chaplain. Um, it is always great when a student can recall to you something profound that you said that really made the light bulb come on for them, that really made them, if you will, change their life. And Tiffany said tonight that when I said to her that people transform when they realize their story matters. I'm talking to you and everybody that looks like you right now. Your story matters. And the beautiful thing about it is that each of us has a story to tell. And I'm so grateful tonight that Tiffany has taken the opportunity to share with us just a portion of her story. And I am looking forward uh, with tiptoe anticipation, really, of continuing the work with her to help her to, in fact, become a published author. Um, listen. We are on a timetable. Me being a pastor and a preacher, man. I can talk and I can do it all night. Literally, my wife says I talk in my sleep sometimes. But here's the deal. We're on a timetable. We're on a schedule. And big ups one more time. Can I get some help in the back room? Can we give another round of applause for Tiffany Hood? Come on, let's put those hands together for Tiffany. Yes, 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 yes. All right. So, yes, yes. Thank you. All right. So at this point, we're going to have a raffle. We're going to have a raffle. And in order to be a participant in the raffle, you can't watch via social media. So in order to do this raffle, listen, man, I have the opportunity to have been blessed really to meet phenomenal people in my life. And one thing I want to truly say outside of God, my wife, obviously my family, my mother who's no longer with us, um, but people who have impacted and changed my life. This young lady, who I am about to introduce, who's going to assist us tonight with the raffle. You've already met her because she opened up the conference, but I want to take an opportunity to give her her flowers while she yet lives. I was just in Houston a few days back, had an opportunity to hang out in her city and share with her a few days back. But this young lady really has helped me to step outside of my comfort zone and has aided me in becoming truly the man that God has created me to be, utilizing what I have in my hand to bring about transformation, not just for me, but also for other people. Listen, she is, in my opinion, the best coach who's out there. She is my coach. And I present to some today, and I introduce to others, none other than the Mrs. Taria Vision Avant. Come on, can we give it up for Taria?
Yay! Yes,
Yes.
let's get a little applause.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. And first of all, kudos to you for launching this. This is the first Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. And, you know, Tiffany was telling us how she was a little nervous. But man, Pastor Shaw, she did her thing. I mean, even with the little hiccups in the technology challenges, I hope that people were really listening in because she was really doing a great job. So thank you, Tiffany, for sharing your story, like you said as well. Well, let's get into it. So we're going to do this giveaway. Now, this is the thing. We only have a few folk that have submitted their information chat. I guess y'all don't want to win no free gifts. So for those of you guys who are watching on social media, if you are watching on social media and you would like to enter to win, you actually have to register because we're posting the link in the private chat. So for those of you guys who are watching on social media, if you want to enter to win, you actually then need to register and then you will see the link in the private chat, okay? So what is going to be the first giveaway that we have for today?
Listen, we are in such a technological age, Taria, and everybody is online and utilizing mobile apps. So the first thing that we're giving away today is going to be a $25 Amazon gift card.
Ooh, honey, okay. Come on, $25 Amazon. Some of y'all probably was just on Amazon today. So this is going to be good. Okay, so let's go ahead and make sure we activate this audio so y'all can see. And I have the three names. All the people that we have watching us live right now, we have three names. So their odds are good. May the odds be in your favor. Yeah, I done posted it several times in the chat. So y'all make sure because we have another giveaway that we're going to be doing, another raffle. So if you want to be a part of this, no purchase required. All you have to do is register and then go to the conference and you'll see in the chat it says to enter for free, go to. So if you guys want to enter for the next giveaway, please make sure that you go ahead and do it. See, I'm going to post it again. All right. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and spin for the win and see who's going to get this. Oh, man, we didn't even have the music. I meant to have the music for it. That's okay. All right. Woo! Congratulations, Benny Duncan. Benny Duncan, you are the winner of the $25. You can do a lot with $25 on Amazon. Thank you so much. Well, listen, I'm going to go ahead and pass it back over to you so we can keep this party going.
All right. And kudos for to my dear friend Pastor Benny Duncan, amen, for winning the $25 gift card. Listen, there is additional giveaways, and as Taria has stated, as she has said, in fact, if you want to participate and be willing or be able, to receive a opportunity or a chance to win, you've got to be registered. All right. So tonight, I as I first came on, I mentioned the fact that I had my friends who were sharing with me, and those being, of course, the Miss Tiffany Hood, who did such a phenomenal job. And she mentioned that she was nervous. I could not tell because, as she began sharing her story, that nervousness went away. And also, my dear friend, Pastor Jonathan Butts, was supposed to be sharing with us tonight. However, scheduling conflict has prevented him from being here with us. And that's okay. Hopefully, though, and we're believing that he'll still be able to chime in perhaps near the end. So what I want to do is I want to take a moment, if I may, and share with you and read just a little bit from my book. So, and of course, the title of my book is What Do I Do Next? 10 Steps to Becoming Who God Created You to Be. So I want to begin reading right here, if you will, chapter 3. Chapter 3. And the title of chapter 3 is this: Know Whose and Who You Are. And so Let's read it. It says, know and fully recognize with gratitude that the Lord himself is God. It is he who has made us, not we ourselves. And we are his people and the sheep of his pasture. And of course, that is Psalms 100 and verse 3 from the Amplified Bible. All right, here we are. Knowing who you are and whose you are is essential to our functioning in life as human beings. However, unlike any other creatures in creation, humans have a tendency to struggle with their identity. Birds, like any other creature, to struggle with their identity. Cats, birds, like any other creature, to struggle with their identity. White milk, flowers bloom. Creation responds appropriately to its purpose and with their identity, as intended by the Creator. However, the group with intellect and free will purpose struggle with their identity and purpose. Hence, identity crises arrive because we attempt to discover who we are without consulting the one who actually made us. So, in your quest to become all that you were created to be, it requires a knowledge and understanding of the Creator, as well as a true appraisal of who you are. So, what do when the assassination attempt is to destroy your character and ruin your credibility? What do you do when it appears as if your life is stuck in neutral and you can't move forward for always moving backwards? What do you do when your best efforts have seemingly left you without clear goals? What do you do next? You come to know who and whose you are. Contained in this chapter are principles that will aid in you understanding and awareness of things to do to solidify your identity and purpose, to know who and whose you are. Become acquainted with your true purpose. Anything worth enjoying is worth understanding. Think about it. How many times have you gone to a sporting event, whether a football, baseball? How many times have you gone to a sporting event or golf tournament, and among the fans cheering in jubilation is someone there who has the look as if they were only present so that they wouldn't upset the person who invited them? The look of confusion and disinterest is often among the faces of excitement and satisfaction. Life is somewhat like a sporting event in that we get more enjoyment out of it, whether participating ourselves or rooting someone else on, when we understand why. Think about the conversations that you have heard taking place at sporting events within an earshot of you. Why did they throw that flag? Why did the basket not count? Why is the field 100 yards? You get my point. But when people understand why the game is played, the likelihood of obtaining enjoyment goes up. So is the case with life. When people understand their true purpose, fulfillment in life is like meat and potatoes. It becomes the staple ingredients. Consider, if you will, the owner's manual for your life, the Word of God. It outlines what the purpose is for the creation of mankind in Genesis chapter 1, verses 27 through 29. It says, then God said, look, I have given you every seed-bearing plant throughout the earth and all the fruit trees for your food. So your purpose is to reproduce after your own kind. In other words, your true purpose in life is to reproduce after the issue that you have overcome. Here is what I mean. If you have overcome addiction to drugs and alcohol, then you are to use your story to reproduce others who are delivered from drugs and alcohol. Unlike Adam and Eve, every other individual was created after the fallen state of man. And whereas the agenda of God, directed at the agent of God, Adam, was to have dominion and authority over the things in which most drugs and alcohol were made from, the plants of the earth. Not understanding true purpose results in mismanagement, disappointment, and dissatisfaction. Become acquainted with your true purpose and get back in the game and reproduce after your own kind. Honestly appraise your gifts, talents, and resources. If you were really honest at this very moment, you would admit that there were times in your life that you really did not know how you made it. Seriously. You cried all night. You did not have enough money. You were late getting to the job interview. You literally do not know how you made it through the fiasco, but you did. So the truth of the matter is that when you honestly appraise your gifts, talents, and resources, you will conclude that you are still inadequate. And yet, while we don't have enough, we are connected to a source that does. Because we are connected to a source that has everything that does not disqualify us from doing our part. I'm going to say that again. Because we are connected to a source that has everything that does not that does not disqualify us from doing our part. You know what I mean? While what we have and what we possess and what we control may be inadequate, we still have something to contribute. God has given each of us a gift. It becomes our duty to use that gift to bring glory to his name. God has given each of us a measure of faith. It becomes our responsibility to use that faith to impact the kingdom. We have our greatest impact when we are who we are. In other words, I'm saying your impact is diminished when you attempt to be something that you are not. Be true to who God created you to be by honestly appraising what God has given you and use it to bring glory to his name. Take a moment to consider the story of Moses in the Bible days. When Moses first had an encounter with God, he met him on the backside of the desert. In his possession at that particular time was a rod. When God told Moses to visit Pharaoh, he caused Moses to use the rod. When Israel was stuck between a rock and a wet place outside of Egypt, he caused Moses to use the rod. While standing at the Red Sea with no place to go because the sea was in front of him, mountains were on either side of him, and Pharaoh's army was behind him, Moses used what he had in his hand, his rod. I am simply saying to you, my brother, simply saying to you, my sister, that you've had all along everything you need to make it through this moment. I am only reminding you, sister, of what you already know to be true. Now remember who you belong to. Recall who you are connected to and appraise what you have and use it to salvage your relationships and deliver you and your family. As I began my teaching career in the public school system, I worked in the alternative school setting. Supposedly, these were the worst of the worst students in the school system. Many teachers had written them off because of past practices, behaviors, and discipline referrals. I made a conscious decision to not judge them predicated upon their past, but to develop relationships with them that would impact their future. So I wrote a statement and affixed it to the top of my board in large print, in large font so that the person in the back of the class could see, that we read every day to begin class. I initially titled it My Confessions. I later dubbed it as the affirmation, and it read, I confess that I am capable of doing anything that I set my mind to do. Therefore, I will flood my mind with positive thoughts with the expectation of receiving positive results. I confess that I am a winner. I further confess that I have prepared to win. In fact, the power to win lies within me. As a result, failure is not an option. Some of my best years of teaching were in the alternative environment, coaching students that had been counted out by others to come to peace with where they were in their education. I share that same level of encouragement with you. Coming to peace with the way things are requires an understanding that you are not in control of everything. You cannot control what others say about you. You cannot control what others do. You cannot control everything. Coming to peace with the way things are requires an understanding that you are not responsible for the results. The Bible says that one person plants, another person waters, but God gives the increase. In other words, God is responsible for the results. Only He, by the way of the Spirit, changes the hearts of men. So I encourage you to keep under your breath the silent whisper of the serenity prayer that does not place focus on what is out of your control, but focuses on what you can. You know it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the thing I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Listen, I've taken a moment. I've read a portion of chapter 3 from my very own book, What 10 Steps to Becoming Who God Created You to Be. Amen. Listen, I enjoyed reading it, and I would like for you to pick up your copy. And I tell you this really quickly. You can go to 6daycontent.com. That's the number 6. Of course, it's www dot the number 6daycontent.com. And here's what you will get. I know there are some who had already registered for the conference in advance before we rescheduled it. And I assured you that I would have a free gift for you. And on that site, you're able to obtain my latest ebook, which is 7 Keys to Writing and Publishing Your Next Book. But also there, you will be able to pick up a copy of my book, What Do I Do Next? 10 Steps to Becoming Who God Created You to Be. Hey, man, how many of you having a good time tonight? How many of you having a good time? Taria, how many people have signed up to be able to receive a giveaway?
Well, listen, and first of all, I'm sitting here listening to the book, and I'm just like, woo, this was some good information. I said, you wrote that. You wrote that. You said we have a lot of people that are watching right now on social. For those watching on social, y'all register because we're about to do another raffle, but that book sounds amazing, and I definitely know that everybody that grabs a copy, we're also here celebrating your brand new book, and I hope that everybody goes and grabs not just one for yourself and then another one for someone else who you know needs this information. So what we giving away right now? Let me check to see who has submitted their information so far. Let me check too. Let me check on that. But go ahead and share with everybody what we're giving away.
What we're doing, we are doing another $25 Amazon gift card.
Let me find out. So listen, if you want to get that $25 Amazon gift card, go ahead and put $25 in the chat. Now, if you're watching on social media, guys, if you want the opportunities to win, you need to make sure you register. Also, if you want to get all of these goodies that Pastor Rechard is offering to you guys, this value right here, even access to his free gift, you need to make sure, guys, that you register right now. Okay, so let me go ahead and put up, and this is where you register. That link over there, it says Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference. So easy to remember. I mean, that's such an easy name to remember. Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. We use that name for sure. Okay, hold on. So we got way more people this time. Won't he do it? Won't he do it? Okay, so we have way more people. So let me go ahead and add them in. We have about 10 new people that have an opportunity to win. So I'm going to go ahead and paste in your first name. 1 second, guys. All right. Oh, no, hold on. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry. Make sure we don't. Okay. I'll make sure we don't want to miss nobody. Okay, so let's go ahead and pull up the screen. I'm going to share my screen so you guys can see. And also, while you guys are watching, didn't mean to pull that one up. While you guys are watching, type in the chat. Those who are watching on the conference, you guys are seeing this amazing layout, this chat. Let us know what is it, like a takeaway, something that you got from that talk, or not. Well, you still have to do your signature talk, but from him reading the book, what is a takeaway that you guys got from that? Like, we want to know what if you're receiving the information, right? So let's go ahead and pull up the names. I'm going to go ahead and paste in the new list. Uh-oh, I did it twice. Okay, so here we go. So we're going to go ahead and spin for the win. For this one, we just have your first name, but we have, of course, your email, and you're going to reach out to them so that you can send them their stuff. So hold on. I wanted to change the music. How did I change the music? The music just wasn't musicking enough. I don't know. Here we go. Let me see. Customize. I don't think so. Oh, here we go. Let's see. Little pop music or something. I don't know. Okay, let's see how that sounds. I don't know. We're about to see though. All right, so let's go ahead and spin for the win. All right. I don't even think y'all could have heard it because I don't think I shared the sound. But congratulations to Katrina. Katrina, you are our winner of the $25 gift card. You spending some money over there now, Pastor Rechard. You're spending a couple dollars for everybody. This was a free conference, so congratulations. And some of the stuff I will say right here that I'm seeing in the chat, some people are saying that they found out that one of the things they got from reading or from your reading is to never give up. I also saw someone type in the chat, failure is not an option. And so go ahead, make sure, guys, for those of you who are watching in the actual conference, that means you've logged into the link, type in the chat and let us know. Well, I know that you had another speaker that was going to be up here, but we're going to go ahead and shift gears because I think it's about that time for you to go ahead and do what you do best. So I'm going to pass it over to you. But first, let's play a little intro. All right, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Taria Vision Avant, and we are back at the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference. And now it is time. Now, we've already heard the reading of his book. We also heard from Tiffany Hood, who did an incredible job. And now it's time for you guys to learn. So this is what I'm going to say. First of all, if you are watching on social, this is the link. If you guys want to be able to get access to a lot of this information, go ahead and go to Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference. Everything that he has available for you guys, he's going to make sure that you guys get it when you register there. That's number one. But number two, go and grab yourself a pen and paper. I'm already over here ready. Let me tell you something about the way that he deposits on a person, okay? I had an opportunity. We were doing a coaching session, and I had an opportunity to sit down, and I was coaching him, but he also was sharing with me what the Spirit had passed to him, well, what God had passed to his spirit, shall we say. And all I can tell you is this. Whenever you are in the presence of someone who is directly connected, you always want to make sure that you grab yourself a pen and paper because you never want to forget what is going to be deposited. A lot of times I might even say, now, what did you say? He said, listen, I was just being a vessel. And so you got to make sure you write this down because you never know what you're going to get out of this. He is a brand new author, a speaker, a coach. He is helping individuals to write their books. If you're ready to publish your own book, okay, come on. If you are a leader, if you are a speaker, and you want to get better at speaking in front of audiences, especially speaking the word, you need to get connected. So y'all, let's give it up without further ado, doing his signature talk, none other than Pastor Rechard Larkin. Let's go!
Hey. Listen, I am excited again, and I want to say thank you. I want to take the opportunity to say thank you to everyone who has taken the time out of their schedule to be with us, to be with me here tonight. And if you give me just a few moments, I'm going to make sure I have everything in line to be able to share with you on tonight. Man, I am elated. I can't say it enough as to what God is doing here in this moment. Um, so just give me a second. Um, um, we're fine. Taria, this is what I do. All right. I want to make sure I can. Let's see. I'm gonna do that. No, that's not gonna work, Taria. Got to move this to this screen. Okay. Now, now we can do it. And then I come over here, and now I can share my screen. Is that right? Yeah, yeah. All right.
Absolutely. So
Amen.
1 second, hold on. Let me pull up your screen and then I'll let you know when we're ready to rock and roll. By the way, y'all, if you want to update your name, make sure you spin the click on. Okay, we are good to go.
All right. So again, thank you for attending. The fearfully and wonderfully made conference, and I'm elated that you guys are here sharing with us. The idea or the theme, the name for this conference is certainly derived here from the Word of God in Psalms 139 and verse 14, which says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. And so that is certainly where, we derive the name for this conference. But I want you to understand, my dear friends, that in essence, what we're talking about is strategies. We're talking about leaderships. We're talking about strategies for pastors, not just pastors, but preachers, ministry workers, lay leaders to create a lasting impact with the right book. So hear me. Who am I talking to? First of all, I want you to know I'm talking to you. But not just talking to you, but talking to the real you, the you who you spend all of your time with. And my audience, I've come to realize, is that everyone within the context of the church, from the pulpit to the door. That's who I'm speaking to in this moment. Okay? Just so that we know. Now, um, what is leaderships? It is actions and behaviors that leaders employ to move beyond their current mental and emotional context or climate. All right. Did you know that pastors and other ministry leaders impact the lives of their parishioners and followers more than any source in the area of money, entertainment, community, faith, and relationships? Les Brown says, the graveyard is the richest place on earth because it is here that you will find all the hopes and dreams that were never fulfilled, the books that were never written, the songs that were never sung, the inventions that were never shared, the cures that were never discovered, all because someone was too afraid to take that first step, too afraid to keep with the problem, or determined to carry out their dream. I don't want that to be you. And so I pose to you a question, this thought. Have you ever wondered how you can take the first step and add value to your faith community and to those that follow you on your social media platforms, and do what? Have an impact beyond your circle of influence. I received what Taria said. She said earlier that I'm known to the nation, but in a moment that we're getting ready to be known internationally. I receive it and I thank God for it. So we want to know, have you ever considered how you can do that. Have an impact beyond your circle of influence, not just for this week or for this season, but for years to come. I have. And in fact, I did. And the truth of the matter is, I did something about it. But before I tell you about that, let me introduce myself and share a portion of my story. I am Rechard Larkin. I help pastors, preachers, ministry workers, and lay leaders add value to their faith community and share their stories of transformation by learning to write, work, witness, and win with the right book. Listen, I never thought that I'd be where I am, but I want you to do this for me. What do you do? Type that in the chat. There are the people who are engaged here with you. Talk about it on the back channels. What do you do? Type that in the chat for me. Um, I'm the product of a single parent home. Tiffany, you heard her say tonight that one of the things I said to her was that people transform when they realize their story matters. I'm the product of a single parent home. Many of my neighborhood friends sold drugs. And the truth of the matter is, I never thought that I'd be where I am. I never thought that I'd be a published author. I never thought that I'd be a husband, happily married for 20 years, a college graduate. I never thought that I'd be seen and featured on so many platforms. But can I ask you a question? Won't he do it? And yes, he will. And the truth is, if he did it for me, he'll do it for you. Uh, but each of us, regardless of where we are, where we live, what area code, what zip code, we all found into a place where there's something that caused us to shift, something that changed our lives. And for me, it was fatherhood that changed my life. It was fatherhood that changed my life. Right? And so what am I saying? I'm saying I knew what it was like not to have a father in the home. And so for me, that changed my thinking. That changed what I wanted to do, changed what I wanted to become, and in fact, what I wanted to see. Fatherhood changed my life. And I wanted to be present in the life of my unborn child. And as a result of my willingness to change, can I talk to you right here? Life happened. Life happened to me. I made up my mind, Taria, that I wanted to be different from what I saw in the home with the absence of a father. Now, granted, I had uncles, I had my grandfather, I had males to look to who, in fact, would help me to be the man that I am today. But I did not have a father in the home. But as a result of that willingness to change, life happened. Life happened. I had a cousin who was tragically killed. I had another cousin who died in a car accident. And I know that I'm in the room with people, in fact, who have life has happened to, and you've suffered many losses. And so here it is. I dealt with, if you will, the murder of my cousin. I dealt with another cousin being tragically killed. And in 2003, a brand new father in the year of 2002, my firstborn, my beautiful daughter Kaya was born. My son died. And I remember very vividly being at the hospital after my wife had gone to have an emergency cesarean. I'm holding my son in my arms, a heartbeat that was so faint, no breathing in his body. Can I tell you in this moment that life happened to me? My son died. My son died. And then, seemingly, after that, there was a paradigm shift that occurred in my life in 2015. The one woman that I first loved, who I was her everything, prematurely, I lose her. And it was in that moment, Taria, it was in that moment, those of you who are watching, that I realized my story mattered. And just like you got a story to tell. And this is what I did. I wrote a book. Just like me, so many others have experienced many challenges, have suffered many losses, and you have a story to tell. Hey, people need to hear your story. Can you type that? People need to hear my story. Not just your story, but your story of transformation, how you made it over, how you got through, how you overcome it. And we heard from my dear friend Tiffany tonight that shared a portion of her story. Why? Because her story matters. And everybody that is watching right now, listen, you are fearfully and wonderfully made. And it is as a result of that that we should, in fact, give God our best praise. Now, I want to pose to you a question. Who knows that they have a book in them? Who knows you have a book in you? You are convinced without fear of contradiction that there is a book for you, that there is a book in you. Then great. Today is your day. Today is your day. Because guess what? We are getting ready to blow your mind. We're getting ready to help you on your quest to doing and becoming what God has called you to be. And today I want to share with you three things. All right. Today I want to talk to you about being relatable, relevant, and real is what I call the Re3 approach, which is in fact the name of my coaching and consulting firm, Re3 Coaching and Consulting, because I believe it is our duty to be relatable, relevant, and real and speak to those individuals that God has called us to speak to. So in that, we'll learn how to become a rock star in kingdom content creation. We'll learn how to avoid pitfalls and common mistakes that other people have made in this space. We will identify a lot of mistakes that pastors and other leaders have made in regarding to content creation. And then we're going to talk to you about, in fact, how it is to get started. Being relatable, relevant, and real. Simply what I'm saying is when sharing your story with others, it is important for you to take this Re3 approach. Why do I say that? This is something that Jesus employed. Jesus employed this tactic throughout the Bible by speaking in parables. In other words, when we're speaking to our audience, we've got to make sure that we are doing those three things, that we are relevant, that we are relatable, and that we keep it above. Talk about what you've been through. In order for you to heal and for you to help others to get to where God would have them to be, there is a degree of transparency that is needed. Too many of us, I mean, in the world and inside the church, we code switch too much. Too many people who are in the church act as if they've never done anything wrong. Too many people who are now leading congregations, in fact, allow people to believe that they've never messed up, that they've never done anything wrong, and they are not relatable. And they can't keep relevant content, and they refuse to keep it real. But you, my friend, we need to employ the same tactic that Jesus did. Jesus kept it so 100. Jesus, when he felt like people didn't understand it, he would always put it on the shelf where they could reach it. And that shelf would be, amen, by the way of a parable. So this is a technique that Jesus used and that Jesus employed. So what does it mean to be relatable? It means that people can see themselves in your story. Everybody who is watching this conference, who is on inside of this room, or even if you're watching live on social media, you have a people that you are called to speak to. And it is imperative that those people see themselves in your story. So it means that your story is connected to the listener in some way, in some time, in some period, or in some circumstance. Real means sharing your authentic self with others. By being vulnerable and transparent, you allow others to see that you're just like them and that you're not perfect either. I was talking with someone on yesterday. I'm going to share this quick illustration. And they were excited, and they're talking to the pastor. And they say, well, Pastor, I'm walking out of leaving the office at work, and they say, man, I quit smoking and I feel so different. And so I asked, I said, well, how many cigarettes did you smoke per day, and they were smoking 5 cigarettes. Now, if anybody out there has ever smoked and has ever been addicted to nicotine, you know the difficulty associated with quitting. And so I felt that was a moment for me to be real because I too had overcome that very same addiction. And I told her, I said, you know what, man, I too quit smoking. And I said, but I smoked a pack of cigarettes a day. I said, I smoked Newport Filter Kings in the box. And in a day's time, I would smoke a whole pack of cigarettes, drank a whole lot of beer. And guess what? Cold turkey, God allowed me to quit. Right? And when people can identify with the fact that you are real, that you are just like them, that you're not perfect either, and then they say, man, if God can do it for you, then he can do it for me too. Amen. So we want to be relatable. We want to be relevant. We want to be real so that we can become a rock star in kingdom content creation. Everybody on this line, I'm telling you to write quality content. And I know there's a lot of pastors, and you may say, well, listen, when I stand on Sunday mornings, um, people don't necessarily know what is on my page, what is on my outline, what is on my paper. And I concur with you 100%. No one knows. But when you write quality content, here's what you do. You create something one time, and then you're able to use it and transfer it into another context. So when you begin writing better, what you'll discover is that you'll begin speaking better. You'll be more prepared in your sermon delivery. That's a conversation for another day. But we want to write quality content. The more you write, the better you become at it, right? And the better you become, here's what I've discovered, the more you want to write. So we want to write quality content. And the reason being, as pastors and as leaders in this age that we live in, this virtual age, this age of social media, what we're able to do is take one thing and use it in different contexts. Can I give you another illustration? All right, this is me being relatable. This is me being relevant. I served as a head basketball coach for a period of time in my life. And so when I found something that worked, when I found a play that worked, that would get us a foul, that would get us a basket, right? I would take that same play and I would use it in a different context. I run the same play in a 3-out, 2-in, a same play in a 1-4 high set, the same play in a box set, a same play in a 4 low set. But then not only that, I would take that same content and I would figure out how we could use it and run it as an inbounds play underneath, as an inbounds play side out of bounds. And what that did was because it was quality content, it got us a basket or it got us an opportunity at fouls. I was able to take it and use it in different contexts. So we want to be a kingdom rock star in content creation by writing quality content. But then also, we want to work your work. Now, what do you mean by that? So once you write it, then you've got to learn how to work it. There's another word that it's called marketing, right? We got to work our work. And that is something that when you come along with us, we show you how to write quality content, but then too, how to work that work so that work will work everywhere you go. All right. So we're going to work our work, but then not only that, we're going to learn to witness to your niche. I don't know whether or not you were able to hear, but I was so pleased when Tiffany came on and she gave to you what I called an I am statement. She said that I am Tiffany Hood, and she spoke directly to her niche, to those who had been abandoned, by parents as a result of alcohol and drug abuse. She was speaking to her niche. And when you learn how to witness to your niche, depending on who I'm talking to, you may say niche or you may say niche. All right. My coach says niches get riches. Amen. And so we're going to witness to our niche demographic so that we are able to be a rock star in kingdom content creation. But then after we do that, here's what we're going to do. We're going to wait on the results because it may not be the first email. It may not be the first text message. It may not be the first phone call. But if you remain consistent and you remain on target in due time, if I was in church, I would say he may not come when you want him, but he's always right on time. We're going to wait on the results. This is us being a rock star in kingdom content creation. Look, I want to tell you this. Everybody who is watching this webinar, who is watching this conference, all right, who has witnessed me read to you from my book, I want you to know that yes, you too should write a book. And here's why you need to do it. All right. You need to write a book for three reasons. One, to expound upon your message. Two, to expand your ministry or business. And to three, establish a foothold in the marketplace. Ladies and gentlemen, can I say to you that many of us, believers and followers of Christ, often say and quote from the scriptures of Deuteronomy 8:18, to real where we say, I will remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth me power to get wealth. Can I share with you just very quickly concerning, if you will, this Deuteronomy 8:18. Maybe you've heard it before, maybe you haven't. But oftentimes we quote that, but we forget about verse number 17. Verse number 17, it says, many of you will say that it is by my own might, it is by the might of my hands that I have done this, right? And then verse 18 says, but I will remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth me power to get wealth. Many of you will say in verse 17 that it is by the power or the might of my own hand. Verse 18, but it is he that giveth thee power. Can I just for a moment help you in this understanding? This is not a prosperity position, but it is in fact talking about how it is God desires for us to obtain wealth. Listen, not by our own hand or by our own efforts, because we can never be good enough. You heard me read in chapter 3 of my very own book that how our best efforts oftentimes are still inadequate. So if it were by the power of our own hands, many of us would not make it. But the Bible says it is he that giveth us power. It's the same word, right? Verse 17 is power. Verse 18 is power. All right. But they mean two different things. Verse 17 is talking about the power of your hand, human power, human might, human strength. Verse 18 is talking about the power that he gives. So can I talk to you about that Hebrew word just very quickly? All right. Can I teach you for a moment? This Hebrew word, all right, that is translated as power, in fact, is a Hebrew word that means large lizard. It means a chameleon. And so the power that God gives is, if you understand what a chameleon is, it never looks like when it gets to another place, the place it just left. Oh man. The power that God gives us to get wealth is the power for us to not look like what we've gone through and what we've come out of. Your story, my brothers and my sisters, is the power that God has given you to get wealth. That is what God can give. Man can't give you your story. Man can't give you your life's experiences, the storm that you've overcome, but God can. And he desires, all right, to allow us to use in this season to generate the wealth that he has for us. The same thing he said to Moses, what do you have in your hand? And everybody who is listening right now has their story, right? So these are the three reasons why you need to write a book. All right. So here's what I need for everyone to type. Type, there is purpose in my pain. There is purpose in my story. There's purpose in my storm. There's purpose in what I have gone through. And why? Why is there purpose? There is purpose so that you can make a difference. But because there is purpose, there are pitfalls and common mistakes that many of us need to avoid. Most people, most people make the mistake of writing a book just to write a book, because we're so caught up in keeping with the Joneses. We're so caught up in trying to be like everybody else. And because they wrote a book, we want to write a book. And because they did something, we want to do it. And people make the mistake of not knowing who their audience is. Yes, I'm talking to pastors, I'm talking to leaders, that you too have an audience. I know you, the senior pastor, you're the overseer, you're the bishop, you lead the choir, maybe you usher at the door, or perhaps you just sit on the pew. But here's what I need you to know, that you have a people that you are called to. And the mistake that most people make is not knowing who their audience is, not knowing your audience. Second, not having a clear purpose. Listen, we're not out here helping people to write books without an end in mind. In fact, that's what you need to do. We need to copycat the individual after whose image and likeness we are made in. God doesn't start at the beginning. God starts at the end, works his way back to the beginning. That's why he knows the end from the beginning. That's why he is the Alpha and the Omega. And we need to ensure that whatever it is that we're doing, that we have a clear purpose. We begin with the end in mind. And we teach, in fact, all right, how to identify that purpose and begin with the end in mind. All right. Not having a clear structure. There's not a solid foundation for the book. You know, the book begins and it does not flow. You got to have a clear structure. Your book, in fact, has to pass the look and see test, because people are going to grab your book. They're going to look at the cover. They're going to look at the back cover. They're going to open it up, flip through the pages, and see how your chapters are aligned. We help people establish a firm foundation. And these are common mistakes that people make. And then there's not a clear plan. People don't develop a clear plan for, in fact, becoming an author. Did you know that most authors, on average, don't even earn $10,000 per year in income? But when you have a clear plan, when you have a clear structure, right, when you understand your audience, then we help you, right, to become income generations. How to write the right book. You just heard me say it. Begin with the end in mind. Begin with the end in mind, right? You want to begin with the end in mind. You must know the purpose of your book and how it will help you and how it will help the reader, right? You got to set targets. You got to have goals. You must know the goal of your book. How many clients or customers do you wish to have, and how many books in hands will it take to achieve that goal, right? And you got to lay a solid foundation. You got to create the foundation and framework for your book. And we'll talk about that later on in another session. Type this: my transformation should produce treasures. And this goes right along with Deuteronomy 8 and 18, because your transformation, your story, your thing that allows you not to look like what you just came out of. How many of you feel like and say that I don't look like what I've been through? You've been through hell and high water, and yet you wear a smile. You've been through hell and high water, and yet you don't look like what you've gone through. And why is that? Because your transformation should produce treasures. People transform when they realize their story matters. Yes, I love it. I'm saying it again because I certainly believe that it is true, that people transform when they realize their story matters. Now, here's one of the things that I found amazing, that 81%, 8 out of every 10 pastors, this is a case study that I've done, in fact, with groups and organizations that I am a part of, just simply asking pastors and other leaders, how many of them feel the same question that I asked you, how many of them feel that they have a book in them? And 81% of them believe they have a book, but yet 97% of people who start writing a book never will finish it. Never will. And I don't want you to be a part of that. All right. So let's talk about what your book should do or be. It should increase your visibility. It should extend your reach. It should grow your influence. It should reroute individuals to your business or to your church organization. It should open doors for you as a speaker and keynote. This is the same thing that I say to pastors when I teach them through our Homiletics 101 course, that every time you preach, it should provide and give to you another opportunity to preach. That when someone hears you minister, that they should say, man, for my next program, I need him or I need her to come and preach. Your book should be a source of strength, hope, and encouragement and inspiration. It should add value to your faith community. It should leave a legacy beyond your existence. Men, women, people that we celebrate in this season of life as individuals that we consider to be great are those who have left a legacy, in most cases, a book for us to read. Whether it be Malcolm, whether it be Martin, whether it be Les Miles, whether it be Dr. Miles Monroe, these men, and there are a number of women who have left a legacy because they have written it down, that the generation they lived in was able to know them, and the generations to come were able to learn about them. And this is the last thing. Your book should generate multiple streams of income, which is why we show you how to write, how to work, how to witness, and how to win with the right book. Because yes, we ain't out here in these streets for nothing. It should generate multiple streams of income. So, for the sake of time, I would talk to you about how to develop cycles of 7, meaning really how to get to that bag. And what we do, listen, I believe 7 is the number of completion. And we have a method, we have a way. I'm not going to go into it in great detail tonight of how to get to cycles of 7 by becoming a published author. Cycles of 7, $7,000 minimum in income per month. But those are bonus materials, and we'll talk about those in another setting. All right. But who wants to know how to execute this? Just type it in the chat. Type it in the chat. Say, listen, if you're interested in knowing how to execute this, how to become a rock star in kingdom content creation, how to write the right book, how to generate cycles of 7, just type a 1 in the chat for me. Type a 1 in the chat. All right. Listen, I just got off a plane. I was in the air, man, 40,000 feet in the air, cruising. But I remember my first time flying. Man, I had never flown before. I remember I was flying to Richmond, Virginia, my very first time on the plane. And for those of you who have taken flight, I want you to think about your first time. Were you nervous? Right? Were you thinking about it? Was it on your mind? Was there a degree of anxiety? Who remembers their first time flying? But after my first time, I'm talking about everywhere I go, that's what I want to do. I want to wheels up, baby. Wheels up. Listen, can I say to people who are watching me right now, I know I'm in the room with people who dream. That even as you look back over your life, there are some things that you dreamed of doing that have not yet manifested in your life. And why is that? Because life happens when you dream. Life happens when you dream. You remember the story of Joseph, the dreamer, right? Joseph shared his dream with his brothers. They became envious. They became jealous. Life happened to him. He was thrown in a pit, right? Where his brothers attempted to take his life. But he was raised up and saved, if you will, on account of his brother Judah. Judah, which means praise. Praise got him out of the pit. But it led him to Potiphar's house, where he was falsely accused, right, by Potiphar's wife of attempted rape. You see, and he goes from a pit to Potiphar's house, finds himself in prison because life happens when you dream. And I know I'm talking to some dreamers who are on this line right now, who is attending and watching this conference, that there are some things that you dreamed of, some things that you set your mind to do, some plans that you put in motion, and life happened to you. Life happened. You lost your job. Life happened. Your significant other passed. It was your mother, your father, your auntie, a brother, a sister. Life happened. You said you wanted to do something. The car was repossessed. The house was foreclosed on. The business even folded because you were a dreamer and life happened to you. Life happens when you dream. And I realize that I'm in conversation with people who can honestly say that life has happened to me. And yet, while life has happened, can I encourage you? Don't forget your dream. Don't forget it. Everything that you ever desired to do, let us help you to get to that place and point. So what's next? It's a one-day event, laying a solid foundation. Hey, but before we talk about that, I want to discuss topic number 3. I want to talk to you about the law of inertia. And I realize that I'm not teaching class, I'm not in school, and many of you, for this instance, may not even appreciate or understand what inertia is. So I wanted to help you out. Inertia in physics is the property of an object that resists a change in its motion. Inertia for us is a tendency to do nothing or to remain unchanged. How many of you have become comfortable where you are? How many of you have become comfortable in discomfort? How many of you, because it seemed like what you wanted to accomplish and what you wanted to do was so far and so removed from you, that you said you weren't even going to try, that you weren't going to do nothing? That's the law of inertia. The tendency to remain unchanged and the tendency to do nothing. In other words, sometimes the toughest thing to do is get started. And I came today that I might help you, because get ready. I am preparing to invite you to transform your life. Remember, people transform when they realize their story matters. So here's what's next. It's a one-day event, laying a solid foundation for your book. Listen, we're not teaching people, right, to write books to say that they have written books, but we are teaching people to expand their message. To expound upon their message, to expand their ministry or business, and to establish a foothold in the marketplace. Today is your day. Now is your time. Go to workwithme.rechardlarkin.com. Workwithme.rechardlarkin.com. And right there, what you will see is the opportunity to change your life. All right. I'm inviting you to this amazing opportunity for one day to spend time with me. And what we're going to do, we're going to help you to identify your niche demographic. We're going to help you to lay a solid foundation for your book. All right. To know that there is a purpose, a clear plan, a proper structure, so that you can birth a book that for you will generate wealth. For I will remember the Lord thy God, for it is he that giveth thee power to get wealth. Can I say to you, Moses, what do you have in your hand? That you are a chameleon in this moment. You are a large lizard in that you do not look like the last storm that you came out of. But you have an obligation to help other people come out of that same storm. Right now, go to workwithme.rechardlarkin.com and you will be able to work with me in that one day. Taria, thank you for this moment. Thank you for this opportunity, for being here with me uh, in this fearfully and wonderfully made conference. I'm going to stop sharing here. All right. Am I back on full screen? Yes, I am. Work with me, Rechard Larkin.com. And what are we going to get, guys? For everyone who registers, man, I'm embarrassed right now. Taria, I got to use the restroom like never before. Oh my goodness. But can we do another giveaway? I want to do one more giveaway, Taria. Can you take that away for me? It's a $25. My wife and I, we love to go to Longhorn. And I want to allow you guys to eat where we eat. $25 Longhorn gift card. Taria, can we do that?
All right, everybody. So let's give it up again for Rechard Larkin. All right, Pastor Rechard Larkin. Absolutely phenomenal job. Phenomenal job here at the Fearfully and Wonderfully Made Conference. Such a pleasure. I'm really grateful for the opportunity to be your MC. And for those of you guys that joined in, shout out to you guys. Shout out to everybody in the chat. I see you guys. Hey, Dr. Kamika Henson. She says she is coming to Milledgeville, honey, with her boo thing. All right, girl. We can't wait to meet the boo thing. All right. Mysterious person. You can change your name as well if you are still here, guys, by clicking on the wheel. She says, I teach women and men how to properly grieve. Oh, I think that's Dr. Kamika too. Grieve, or no, that might be Lady Brenda. Grieve and heal through writing. I'm not sure. So, mysterious person. Let's see. That might be Dr. Kamika. Okay, so if you are in the chat, let us know again, guys, what it is that you do. And I'm going to go ahead and do this drawing for this final giveaway. So let me go ahead and just double check to see if anybody else registered since the last time. And for those of you guys watching on social media, listen, if you want to still be able to get the details, the information, stay connected, be a part of the one day, or even possibly learn about how you can get your book done. If you know that you want to go into ministry, you want to learn how to speak in front of audiences, listen, Pastor Rechard Larkin is doing some incredible things. And so you want to make sure that you definitely plug on in. Okay, let me pull up the form. Only Pastor Rechard Larkin going to tell you he got to go. I love it. Because, you know what, and you said something too, Pastor. You said about, people in the church code switching. And we've been connected now for about a year and a half, 2 years, as far as in the inner circle, but even before then. And if it's one thing I think that I'm like a big advocate on is the ability to just be yourself, and, the ability to be able to be your true self, even with whatever you've been through. Because sometimes it's those stories, those setbacks, those challenges, and the things that we've been through. And when we share that and we share how God has pulled us through, those are some of the best testimonials. And so I'm going to pull Pastor Rechard up right now. Okay, there he is. He's back on the screen, y'all. He back. And so I appreciate you for even saying that too. And then, of course, just everything that we talked about, books. I'm a big advocate for the book world. I think everybody should be an author. I think it's one of the easiest, listen to me, y'all. One of the easiest ways to truly leave legacy in this world is by leaving it through your words. And so let's go ahead and we had a couple more people submit their information. So let me go ahead and make sure I add them on in. Okay, so Katrina won the last, and now we have you said to where? To the steakhouse.
Longhorn.
Longhorn. Yes. Those Longhorn, aren't they known for them like don't they got like them onion ring things that everybody talk about? Is that Longhorn?
Yeah, they have those oh no, that may be Texas Roadhouse with those
I ain't never been to there either.
Yeah. Listen,
Okay.
I don't order the onion rings at Longhorn.
You said I don't go there. I don't gonna
I said, I
log
don't
on for
order
no
onion
onion
rings.
rings.
You know what I mean?
Right. So you goes against the steak. I know, I get it. I know, I understand. I understand. Okay. All right. Let me go ahead and paste these names in here. And blah 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 bloop boop. Oops, see I keep doing it twice. Okay, then we already got Katrina, she's a winner. And then we already have, of course, Benny, Pastor Benny is a winner. And so let's go ahead and share the screen. Hold on, let me pull up the screen for Longhorn. I'm hungry too. I was sitting here like, woo, ready to eat. Longhorn sound real good right about now. All right, so let me make sure I am sharing the audio so y'all can hear the spin of the wheel. The song, the last song, I ain't really like it too much, but you know, we don't. I don't know what that song was. Let me see if I can change it real quick. I don't even know. Customize. There we go. Let's see. Let's see here. What we got? Funk. Let's play some funk. Let's see
All
what they
right.
think funk is. I don't know. All right, let's go. Spin for the win. Okay. Oh, Pastor Benny can't win twice, so Pastor Benny already won. So we're gonna go ahead and
Yeah,
spin
we gonna let
again.
somebody-
We're gonna let somebody else get that longhorn. Okay, so let's go. Here we go. Let's spin for again. Hey. All
Ferris.
right.
Right.
Whoop whoop. Sound like somebody about to be eating real good. Mm-hmm.
Yes, Brother Ferris Flanoy.
Well, listen, Pastor Rechard, I'm gonna go ahead and pass it over to you so you can close us out. Thank you to everybody that was here, and we can't wait to see you at the next Fearfully and Wonderfully Made. The mic is yours.
Amen. Listen, I just want to, again, I want to encourage you guys to visit, if you will, that workwithme.rechardlarkin.com. And you're getting an opportunity to work with me for that one day. We'll tell you all the details about it. But can I tell you some of the things that you'll receive? You will master the appropriate strategies for laying a solid foundation for your book. You'll understand key must-haves to include in your book, and we'll determine important next steps to getting started with that book. But also the bonus ebook, Why Pastors and Business Leaders Should Write a Book. And you'll get also an autographed copy of What Do I Do Next book. This is what you'll get. You get an autographed copy of that. You get uh, those hours to spend with me. But then there's another option. That general admission ticket is $197. And I don't know if Tiffany is still on, and she was just like, "Wow, I got all of this for the money that I invested." But I want to give you another opportunity, though, guys, to work even further because we have a second option also, and that is for a VIP admission for this same event. And you get everything that I just mentioned above, but you'll have an additional 1 hour VIP question and answer session. And this is where we really go deep and deep into developing that book. You'll receive not just an autographed copy of What Do I Do Next, but I announced last week that I have a new book coming out, and you will get an autographed copy of that book as well. And you'll have your name printed in the acknowledgement sections of that brand new book. And then also, as I mentioned, everything that is above, mastering the appropriate strategies for laying us a solid foundation, understanding the key must-haves, and so on and so forth. Listen, you will not regret because one thing that I do. Well, first, let me say this because I shared with my coach um, uh, maybe a few weeks ago that I am under her mantle, right? And that the oil flows from the head down. And one thing that Taria Vision Avant believes in, and is in her people getting value. And that oil flows down. And you will get value in the time that you spend with me on this day. Look, I'm done, man. Time is up. Taria's hungry. Many of you are as well, but I'm looking forward to working further with you. Work with me, drrechardlarkin.com. Listen, I am Rechard Larkin. I help pastors, preachers, ministry workers, and lay leaders add value to their faith communities by sharing their stories of transformation through learning to write, witness, work, and win with the right book. My time is up. God bless you. Until we meet again.